You've spent your whole life being taught to adjust to reality, to survive it, to adapt to it, to react to it. But you were never meant to bow to reality. You were meant to command it. The secret lies not in force, nor in intellect, but in the light that breathes within you, a light that remembers the language of creation itself. Before the world told you what was possible, that light was already shaping form, bending energy, and composing the rhythm of your life. Commanding reality begins not with control over the outer world, but with awakening to the radiance that moves silently beneath your skin. Your soul is not an abstract idea or something to discover in distant rituals. It is your survival system, the most sophisticated instrument of power you possess. Imagine waking each morning and stepping into it consciously, as though suiting up in a luminous field of grace. That suit is not armor against the world. It is your access point to the universal field where intention becomes law. The soul doesn't belong to religion any more than light belongs to a single lamp. It's not confined by doctrine, gender, or culture. It is pure consciousness, your personal microcosm of divine intelligence. And when you operate from that light, you stop being subject to circumstances and start governing them. Every time you forget this, the world rushes in to define you. Voices outside whisper what you should want, who you should be, what you should fear. Those whispers are subtle thieves, commercials, opinions, comparisons, draining your vitality one thought at a time. They promise beauty, youth, success, belonging, but each promise hides a test. Will you give your power away for illusion? To command reality, you must learn to hold your center in the presence of deception. You must recognize that what others call power, money, validation, status, is counterfeit if it demands you dim your light. Every illusion feeds on the energy of your attention. The moment you withdraw it, the illusion starves. You command reality not through resistance, but through alignment. The universe responds to coherence, to the vibration of certainty that radiates from within when you stand fully in your field of light. Choice is the key. Before love, before faith, before manifestation, there is choice. To choose is to claim authority over your reality. Every decision you make, whether conscious or unconscious, programs the frequency you live in. When you choose to act from the soul, from clarity, integrity, and truth, the world reorganizes to reflect that state. Energy follows awareness. Form follows energy. Reality is not something happening to you, it's something obeying you. You are not here to recycle old beliefs or inherit tribal thought forms that define your limits. You are here to generate new patterns of consciousness. The light within you is the original creative substance, the same essence that holds galaxies in orbit and breathes universes into existence. To command reality with that light is to remember your role as a participant in divine order. You are both microchip and macrocosm, an extension of the infinite field through which all things communicate. When you awaken to that truth, you stop asking reality to change, and you start commanding it to reflect who you truly are. Light in motion, consciousness creating form, divinity remembering itself. When the light within you begins to awaken, the first barrier you meet isn't darkness from the outside, it's contradiction from within. You start to feel the split between what your soul knows and what your mind obeys. This fracture is what many call inner conflict, but at its root, it's a crisis of conscience. The light in you wants to move freely, to command creation through clarity, but self-betrayal blocks that current like debris in a stream. Every time you silence your intuition, every time you act against what you know is right, you fracture your inner circuitry. Reality can only obey the signals you send, and when those signals are divided, the reflection you receive is chaos. To command reality, you must first repair this fracture. That begins by reclaiming your conscience, not as a moral code imposed by others, but as the voice of your own light, guiding you toward integrity. Conscience is not guilt, it's coherence. It's the natural alignment between thought, word, and action, the sacred rhythm where your inner truth meets the outer world without distortion. When you live congruently, your light flows unobstructed through your being, translating divine thought into form at the speed of awareness. But when you betray yourself, when you say yes while meaning no, or make choices that shrink your soul, that light collapses inward, unable to express its command through matter. Modern language has diluted the meaning of conscience, replacing it with vague notions of consciousness. Yet consciousness without conscience is empty awareness, light without direction. You can meditate for hours, read sacred texts, chant ancient names, but if your actions are born from self-deception, your light cannot command anything. Reality does not respond to words, it responds to alignment. When the moral intelligence of your soul is silenced, you lose not only your power, but your trust in life itself. The world begins to feel hostile or unreliable because your inner compass no longer points toward truth. But once you begin to act in harmony with what you deeply know, your trust in life returns, because the universe mirrors your integrity back to you. To command reality with the light inside you, you must live as light, transparent, direct, congruent. That means becoming ruthlessly honest with yourself, even when truth dismantles your comfort. Congruence is the soul's geometry. It is the straight line through which energy moves into matter. When you think truth, speak truth, and act in truth, creation listens. You stop leaking energy through contradiction and begin radiating authority through coherence. And that coherence is power, the kind of power that doesn't demand, doesn't beg, doesn't fight. It simply commands because it has nothing to hide. Once your conscience becomes whole, your light begins to travel freely again. It moves outward, connecting, sensing, communicating, through a network far greater than the human mind can comprehend. You are not isolated in your illumination. Every beam of awareness that shines from you enters a vast web of living intelligence, a cosmic internet made of thought, energy, and vibration. This is not poetry, it is structure. Every choice you make sends signals into the unified field of creation, and those signals ripple through existence, shaping probabilities, calling form into motion. When you act in alignment with truth, the network responds immediately, rearranging circumstances to match the clarity of your command. Your soul functions as both receiver and transmitter within this field. You are constantly exchanging information, invisible, immediate, through a language beyond words. This is why intuition feels instant. It is the speed of light translating across the inner network, arriving as a knowing, a vision, a pulse in the heart before your mind can name it. What you once called coincidence or synchronicity is simply evidence of your participation in that living web. When your energy is coherent, you read it clearly. When it's chaotic, the signals distort. Learning to command reality means learning to interpret this communication with precision, to sense the messages encoded within light and respond to them without hesitation. The intellect alone cannot navigate this realm. It gathers data, collects facts, measures, compares, but it cannot comprehend the invisible architecture of creation. Knowledge without light becomes static. It accumulates but does not transform. The soul, however, draws from truth, the eternal database of divine intelligence that animates all form. When the intellect and the soul merge, a new intelligence awakens within you, one that does not think its way to power, but knows its way there. The mind provides the structure, the soul provides the current. Together they create the circuitry through which divine will becomes physical reality. This is how light commands form. As this union deepens, you enter into direct dialogue with creation. You begin to sense the correspondence between your inner state and the world around you. A single thought of clarity reorganizes matter. A single act of integrity recalibrates your timeline. The network of light responds instantly because it recognizes its own reflection in you. At this level, you are no longer simply a participant in life. You are a conscious collaborator with it. Your guidance becomes precise. You move not through effort, but through resonance. Knowledge now bends to truth, and truth flows through knowledge, forming a single current of living awareness. This is mastery, the soul and the intellect acting as one voice in the conversation of creation. To command reality with the light inside you, you must trust that conversation completely. No longer ask, "Is this real?" but rather, "Am I aligned?" When your thought, feeling, and energy vibrate in harmony with truth, the universe has no choice but to comply. Light recognizes light, creation obeys coherence, and you, standing in that unified intelligence, become what the ancient mystics called the living word, consciousness made luminous, commanding form through the authority of being itself. Once you understand that reality responds to coherence, you begin to see power in an entirely new way. Power is not noise, it is not dominance or control. It is the quiet precision of directed energy, the movement of light through choice. You hold within you the same creative force that sustains galaxies, but that power is neutral until guided by intention. Every thought you release, every emotion you feed, becomes an investment in the reality you are shaping. This is the sacred economy of light. Nothing you think or feel is wasted. All energy seeks form, and form always mirrors the quality of the energy that created it. To command reality, you must become aware of what you are spending your light on. Every argument, every judgment, every fear is a transaction, a withdrawal from the treasury of your soul. The world constantly tempts you to trade your energy for illusion, to spend it on distractions that promise satisfaction but return emptiness. True mastery begins when you pause and ask, "Is this worth the power of my soul?" That single question recalibrates your consciousness. It reminds you that not all movement is progress, and not all emotion is worth expression. Energy follows attention, and when attention is scattered, your creative force fragments. To command reality is to consolidate your energy into clarity, to become intentional, selective, and deliberate with your light. The divine laws governing this universe are not distant or abstract. They are woven into the fabric of your own being. Gravity, magnetism, and rhythm are not only physical, they are spiritual. Every choice you make carries gravity. It draws consequences into your orbit. Every thought you sustain creates magnetism. It attracts the forms that match its frequency. Every emotion follows rhythm. It sets the tempo for how events unfold. When you live unconsciously, these laws move you. When you live consciously, you move them. The moment you align with divine law through awareness and discipline, creation begins to work in cooperation with you, not against you. That cooperation is the essence of command. Power, then, is not something to hoard or display, but to steward. You are a custodian of divine energy, entrusted with the ability to shape reality through the quality of your inner state. To waste that power on triviality is to forget your sacred role. To direct it toward clarity, love, and integrity is to fulfill it. The soul that learns this balance becomes luminous, not because it shines more brightly than others, but because it no longer leaks light through conflict or confusion. It becomes whole, it becomes law, and from that wholeness, it commands reality effortlessly, through the silent authority of alignment, through the light that no longer seeks permission to shine. Reality bends for the one who remembers their light, the one who no longer bargains with illusions, who stands congruent, who moves at the speed of truth. Every law of the universe already answers to you, but only when you speak in its native tongue: light, coherence, choice. You are not here to chase reality, you are here to command it through remembrance. So rise each day and suit up in your soul. Step into the grace field that surrounds you. Move with intention, choose with reverence, heal yourself, and the world heals with you. The light within you has been waiting, not to be worshipped, but to be used. Command reality not through force, but through faith in the divine brilliance that lives inside you. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. You are the light that commands worlds.